Hi, my name is Philipp Sykownik from the Entertainment Computing Group at University Duisburg-Essen. I'm excited to present findings from a collaboration between Divine Maloney and me under Freeman and Masuch. We set out to understand the basic rules of how users disclose personal information to each other on social VR platforms. Within the past decade, many social VR applications have opened their doors and allowed users worldwide to interact together within virtual environments using virtual reality headsets. Using VR technology, current social VR applications allow users to immerse themselves in virtual worlds, and they can interact with others from a first-person perspective while embodying a virtual avatar in those worlds. Depending on the application, users can engage together in many activities ranging from socializing in public lobbies, dancing in virtual clubs, creating worlds, playing games, and watching movies. These affordances qualify social VR as a social medium that promises access to meaningful experiences, authentic socializing, and real-world psychological benefits. And moreover, current research is steadily trying to verify this promise. The current research landscape on social VR emerges from the large field of collaborative virtual environments. It can roughly be partitioned into three major areas that have been formed since 2018. Work that systematically analyzes general design practices of consumer application developers, approaches that build and evaluate prototypes in lab studies regarding specific VR experiences, and a body of work focusing on everyday life engagement with social VR that applies field observations, interviews, and surveys to get in direct contact with actual users. Our contribution can be assigned to the latter area, and it is motivated by trying to grasp the mechanisms behind socializing in social VR by understanding how users engage in one of the fundamental drivers of building relationships in general: self-disclosure, the act of sharing personal information with others. More specifically, our work builds upon previous initial insights into self-disclosure in social VR based on a series of user interviews that we review in our paper. Adding to these initial insights, our work addresses the following 5 research questions. What do users think about disclosing to others in social VR in general? What topics do they disclose? What goals drive their self-disclosure? And what contextual factors influence their disclosure? And what technical channels do they use to disclose to others? As opposed to previous work, we decided to collect data from a larger number of users by conducting an online survey. This way, we could increase our results' representative value and identify potential patterns of opinion and behavior related to self-disclosure that are shared by many users. We advertised this survey from May to July 2021 in several channels like Reddit and Discord related to social VR. In some, we obtained 126 valid responses that we included in our analysis. Let us first have a brief look at some general social VR usage patterns of our sample that help set our self-disclosure results into context. The majority of participants started using social VR between 2018 and 2020. They indicated engaging on their favorite platform on a daily or weekly basis, so we could conclude that many of our participants were well familiar with social VR at the time of the survey. The majority of participants indicated VRChat as their favorite social VR app, followed by a group that indicated Neos VR and around 16% that indicated Rec Room as their favorite. Eventually, we asked participants to refer any self-disclosure questions to their respective favorite social VR platform. Thus, the following results in particular apply to these 3 applications. Let us now briefly go through the main findings of our study. We kindly refer you directly to our paper for a more detailed look at the results and details on survey design. Our results indicate mixed positive and negative user attitudes towards self-disclosure in social VR. Users perceive self-disclosure as an authentic experience despite skepticism and privacy concerns. While self-disclosure in social VR is motivated by different goals generally, relational development and identity clarification seem to be most important for most users. Regarding the types of information that users disclose, participants were required to indicate which of the following topic areas they disclose or would disclose to others in social VR. Identify information like one's clear name, information related to one's sexuality like one's biological sex, and information pertaining to establishing interpersonal relationships, like chatting about general lifestyle preferences or revealing deeply held fears and fantasies. Thereby, information that breaks anonymity, such as real names and topics associated with more intimate aspects of oneself, seem to be shared less commonly. However, over a third of users would disclose such information. Most commonly, sexuality-related information, as well as lifestyle preferences, are disclosed. Thus, social VR seems to be a place where partly many users feel comfortable disclosing various types of personal information. Disclosing personal information in social VR depends on the context. The relationship to others was the most frequently indicated influencing factor among participants. Thus, most users base their disclosure decision on the type of relationship they have with a potential disclosure recipient. Nevertheless, our results show that the privacy of the virtual environment, age of disclosure recipients, the group size, and the activity context are also relevant contextual factors. We also identified more general patterns regarding the specific contexts in which some users tend to disclose. Specific contexts where disclosure is most likely to happen are interactions with friends or acquaintances, private spaces, interactions with same-aged or older people, diets or small groups, and during explicitly social activities like hangouts and intimate get-togethers. For a detailed look at the patterns, we recommend a look at our paper. Opposing to the previous questions, we used open-ended questions to ask participants what channels they use to disclose themselves. Our findings show that users predominantly use voice chat to disclose personal information during conversations. However, there are also other technical channels that some users indicated as relevant self-disclosure channels, like their avatars or affordances of the virtual environments. To round up, these findings represent, in particular, an extension of insights on self-disclosure in social VR previously collected in only one study so far. They further inform researchers and practitioners alike by providing an opportunity to check if certain design decisions affect user behavior in intended ways, and by laying out a roadmap for the design of experimental lab studies to further investigate self-disclosure within certain contexts. In conclusion, our results provide insights into basic user rules of self-disclosure and thus their social interaction. Insights like this are essential to creating safe virtual spaces for social experiences today and in the future. We hope this brief overview motivates you to have a detailed look at our paper for more information about our survey, related work, results, and of course limitations that come with our approach. Hopefully you find our work informing for your research. If you have any comments or questions, we are happy to get in contact with you, so feel free to reach out.